Well, here at Stanpit Marsh, Jonathan and I are on
Hello.
Weasel Watch. Hi.
We are.
Yes, and yeah, quick flip you around, show you the foreground. It's a bit like a moonscape at the moment. I should think a Hollywood set. Anyway, various craters, indentations, well, rabbit holes and divots, and lots of places for a weasel to pose on. And that's why we're principally here today at Stanpit Marsh, to get this marvellous weasel. Anyway, while we're waiting for it to pop up, we've had a quick flash, haven't we, Jonathan?
We were just setting up and he just popped up. I think I got an image and I think Mark was still busy with his equipment.
Yeah, I was on video. I was doing this for you. So that's my excuse. I got nothing. But anyway, no. Yeah, incredible little weasel. So we just don't know when it's going to pop up. So anyway, we've got a little video lined up for you.
So service may be interrupted any time by a weasel. So
if we shout "pop goes the weasel," you know what it is. It's not some child's episode of Camilla and I. Yeah. It is actually a real piece of wildlife. Very small, it's about 1.5 feet, 2 foot long.
Yeah.
Stubby tail, and yeah, it's fairly obvious on this landscape when it does pop up. I mean, you saw it straight away, didn't you, Jonathan? So,
I did.
So there we go. Anyway, what have we got for you from Weasel Watch? Well, Jonathan is trialling a new camera.
And guess what it is? Look at the size of the bag.
Ooh, what is that? Okay. Yes, I think we know, but
if I can get it out, there we are. So it's the
RX10.
The RX10.
Version 5.
Version 5. And you're thinking, what is Jonathan doing with that?
That was going to be my next question. You've nicked my question. What is Jonathan, with every camera under the sun, doing with the RX?
I'll take the lens cap off first, in case the weasel pops up and I don't have a lens cap on I can actually use it to take.
Yeah, and I'll have a camera here as a hand as well.
Right, so why am I looking at this, you might say, when I've got all this wonderful gear otherwise? Why would I? Well, it's more for family trips really, and for when I'm travelling on business. You can't travel around with 100 to 400 when you're on a business trip. It's just not the thing to walk into the factory with a big wildlife lens.
Especially with camo on. Yeah. Okay.
And when I'm going out with the family as well, I want to be able to obviously take family pictures, maybe the scenes of where we are, where we're visiting, but you can also miss the wildlife because you haven't got the appropriate lens. A perfect example of this was we were in Spain, we were going to a castle. I had a 24 to 70 lens on, obviously for taking the castle and the family and all around there. And there were some lovely exotic birds there flying around the towers. Oh. And my wildlife lens was half a mile away back in the car. Oh, and I was really not too pleased about it. No. So the whole idea of the RX10 is to have a lens that can be used for those family photos and general tourist photos, but you can switch over to taking wildlife immediately if you see something. So that is where it's got a big advantage. But I was not prepared to just buy one, order one on day one, because I wasn't certain enough that I'd actually find it acceptable with a 1-inch sensor. Yep. So I've hung on till I've managed to be able to get one to trial first to see if it actually does work for me before I make a decision. Yep. Try before you buy. Because you know it's not the sort of thing I'd normally buy, and you want to make sure it is a good fit. And it's £2,200 here in the UK. Yes. So I got this on Friday, So I've been the last couple of days trying it. So this is only a short review. It hasn't been used extensively. We've basically been out 3 times before today.
And you've set up one useful button.
Well, the first thing is, people say with the RX10, it's too slow for wildlife because you've got to zoom that lens out. Well, you can set up the custom settings of 9 different settings on the camera.
Amazing.
Modes, on the modes.
Yeah.
So it's on number 1 at the moment. And number 1, I've made it 600mm for wildlife, 2000 a second, 600 seconds. So all I do is just switch it on, and in about 2 seconds it's now at 600mm, set up for bird or animal photography, and 2000 a second, so I can shoot immediately.
Yeah.
So 2 seconds is quite quick enough.
Not bad at all.
And so that's a nice facility. If you are a wildlife photographer, set it up so you can actually get it out, so it goes straight out to 600mm.
Yep.
So you're ready for quick deployment if you see that bird.
Yep.
You want to photograph.
Mode 1, wildlife.
Well,
Get your priorities right.
yeah. Well, mode 1 is wildlife. Mode 2 is portrait.
All right.
That's so that comes in. So that's taking pictures of the family.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, that
So
says
get
it
my
all.
priorities right here.
That says it all. You're in trouble now. I hope the wife didn't watch this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. Fair enough. So that's a quick.
So
way
that
in.
was
A quick way in.
a
Okay,
nice.
sort that one out.
So that was a nice setting, which is really useful.
Yeah.
Because you've got all these settings. So I've been trying this out. The viewfinder is very good. If you look in the viewfinder, it's very much looking in the viewfinder of the A1. It's not
dissimilar.
It's not dissimilar. The standard of the viewfinder at all. In fact, it's more like the A7R6 because it's got the little spirit level at the bottom of the screen,
Nice
just like
touch.
on the A7R6. So you've got that right at the bottom.
Lovely. Very useful. That. I do.
The rear screen is also very good. So you can't really see in this bright sunlight, but it's a very good rear screen. Once again, very similar display to the A7R6. But unlike that, it only just tilts one way, like on the original A1, and not the multi-tilt as on the new A1 Mark II or the A7R6.
Yep. But how often do you actually fully articulate the screen?
With some people don't like the fact that it only goes one way. To me, that is fine. I actually rarely. It's only for the occasional portrait shot. You don't take that many portrait shots of wildlife. Well, for me, it's an afterthought rather than the first shot. Not the first shot is normally in landscape, and I might eventually go into doing a portrait one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But often that is when you've got a prime lens on. It's actually to get the animal in the frame.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Good point. A giraffe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to me, that is not a big deal at all.
No.
And it's got 30 frames a second,
Amazing.
and it will do silent shooting, so you can just press down and it's completely silent. It's got mechanical, that's with the electronic shutter, and mechanical as well it will do, but only up to, I think it's 1,000th of a second mechanical, or maybe 2,000ths, but it's not really good enough for wildlife. And anyway, I don't like to be making a noise for wildlife around anyway, so I'd only use the electronic.
Yep.
Maybe go on to the mechanical if I'm taking the family, so they know when I've clicked their picture.
Yeah. Cheese. Excellent.
Yeah. So those facilities are really nice indeed. So it's
The close focusing. Have you?
close focusing. Yeah, I have taken inset, and you can get really close, and flowers and things, and you can get really close with the lens all the way in. So that's back at 24mm. It's almost up to the lens. It's that close.
That close.
With the 600mm, it's probably about 2 foot away. The
Object.
thing. It's very, very similar to like the old 100 to 400 with, and I think this has got almost a half macro capability. So it's very good. It's very good for
Pseudo macro.
for pseudo macro for doing insects and all as well. So you've got a camera which is really useful because you can do your normal family things, touristy things, the bird in the distance, the insect up close. It's a very adaptable camera. So and that is why I wanted to try it for that reason.
Yeah, no,
So-
it's a brilliant little
And
package.
another facility it's got here, which I set up on the button on the side here, which is like you'd have on the lens, is you press that, and it will just go. Mark can see that it'll just go back, and if you're having trouble finding the object, say a small bird in the tree at 600mm, rather than zooming out, you just press that button. And it will, while you're holding the button, zoom out so you can locate it, let go again, and then go and shoot.
Brilliant.
So it's probably not something most wildlife photographers, we're used to finding subjects at 600mm, but for the person that's
Yeah,
more of a general photographer, it's a useful
Starting out.
facility.
excellent.
The aperture is actually on the ring, on the lens, rather than electronic. So the only thing you can't program in electronic is the aperture, which you've got to use.
manually.
You've got to use that.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good practice in a way.
So
Yeah.
my experience using it now. Well, before I actually get onto that, battery wise, it's the same battery as the A12.
Yeah, nice.
The regular battery,
Yeah, we like that.
but it takes a normal SD card. It doesn't take
Just
a
the one slot.
one slot. It doesn't take a CF Express card.
Yeah, just the standard.
But it's quite good. You've got the joystick and the buttons, the AF on button and C1 and C2 on the top. It's
Fully customisable.
and you can have the shutter speed on that one and the exposure compensation on the other one. So you can basically almost set it up the same as you would your A12 or whatever your regular wildlife camera is, which
Incredible.
makes it quite good for thing. This grip is very much like the A12. In fact, if you blindfolded me, put this in my hand, I wouldn't know I wasn't holding the A12.
Amazing.
The only thing that's different is these C1, C2 buttons are further forwards. They're back here on the A12, I think. Yeah, you see, it's further back.
Yeah, further away.
So I have found when I'm trying to use them that sometimes my fingers go looking in the wrong place for them because I'm
Used to
I'm looking to where it is on
A12.
It just
Slightly further
shows
back.
how you get used to the positions of your camera and do things a lot by touch and don't even look where the buttons are.
Yep. Yeah. Manual
So,
dexterity.
So it's
So use-wise, it's pretty good, isn't it?
so
in the
it's
hand?
it's a very adaptable camera. So in use, well, the day I got it, the first time I went out, it was very poor light. It was the first day probably for a long time in England. We've had a really cloudy day and very poor light, which was actually a very good test because I was shooting in typical lights you might get in winter in England.
Yeah, well, let's face it, 80–90% of the time in the UK.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, I went out to the Hawk Conservancy, which is fairly near to where I live in Andover, and it's because it's somewhere you can actually be sure of seeing birds and seeing them flying as well.
Yeah. And you did send me a nice picture of a barn owl.
Yeah. So I arrived in time for the owl demonstration, which is like in the woodland. So it was tree cover, which made the light level a little bit lower still because you're in a wooded area.
Ooh, yeah.
But then what I find is the biggest problem with this camera is the fact that the ISO, the maximum it will go to is 12,800 It's the maximum ISO.
Okay.
And it's not recommended to go over 6,400 because the quality deteriorates badly. In fact, for good quality to show feather details and the bird, you really want to keep to 3,200
With this camera.
with this sort of camera. But it's not particularly this camera. It's the fact you've got a 1 inch sensor.
Yeah.
And that's where I had the problems because of the birds flying around. I wanted to photograph them flying around, but I couldn't because I couldn't get a fast enough shutter speed with the limited ISO available. So I'd have maximum aperture, which for this at 600 millimeters, that's 600 millimeters, is f4, which sounds pretty good. F4 at 600 millimeters.
But really, it's f8.
No, it's actually, if you look at it in full frame things, it's actually f11.
Ooh, okay.
But it's not for light gathering. For light gathering, it's f4, but f11 for bokeh.
Right. Okay. Yep. Clear that up.
So, so the big problem I had here was doing the owls. I couldn't photograph them flying because I couldn't get the shutter speed fast enough because I'd max out the ISO. And I'd still only be at 500ths of a second with the ISO maxed out.
But quite a nice portrait.
So I had to confine myself to taking static owls, and I sent some pictures, which I'm sure Mark will put up.
Yeah.
I'm reasonably happy with the quality. I think if you look at them full frame, they look pretty good. If you actually zoom in on Lightroom to 100%, you can see the quality is not as good as you would get from a A12 50 megapixel sensor full frame.
Obviously.
But
Yep.
then I guess you'd expect that.
Yes. Yeah.
You're talking about a 20 megapixel image from a 1 inch sensor, so it's not really a fair comparison.
Not at all. No. As I did with the Stuart James
Yes.
photography video, you're not looking at like for like, and indeed some people complained that the image quality wasn't as good, or we sort of weren't trying hard enough to get the same image. But it's not really that. It is that the camera is obviously not as good. It's not 50 megapixels.
It's good for what it is.
It's great for what it is, but it's not. It's nowhere near the standard we would like.
And
to achieve.
I really don't know, because the 1 inch sensor, when you look at it, it's not that much smaller than Micro Four Thirds. So I don't know how all these OM shooters actually get on in low light. If you're an OM shooter, post your comment.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah. There's an awful lot of people who shoot OM out there. So anyway, yeah, all complaints directed to Jonathan. But no, I mean, your number of messages on the thread are now going to escalate. Yeah, I mean, I started back in the digital world with Panasonic and the 3/4 inch sensor. So yeah, I went to from that to Nikon full frame. But yes.
But when I have also been watching reviews by Andy Rousey of the RX10, he's been trying it out as well.
Yeah.
And he was previously an OM shooter, and he said the restrictions on the ISO was much like he was used to with the OM, which made me think, gosh, are you that restrictive on OM? In that case, I won't even ever consider one.
Oh, yeah. Roger Hantz, for example, his last video, FRPS Roger Hantz, he did a lovely video on hornets, and he was shooting up to 1/8,000th of a second, but in bright sunshine. And yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't researched this. So well, no doubt I'll, in the thread of this video, find out what an OM what ISO can actually shoot up to, and still provide a good image with good feather details. Be interested to know.
Yes, and it's a long time since I shot with Panasonic and Micro Four Thirds. So yeah. Let us know in the comments below what the difference is. Anyway,
anyway, continuing on the
Yeah,
RX10
we got
Mark
diverted.
5.
Yep.
Got a bit diverted there.
Yeah.
So I actually went out a couple of times to my local lake photographing as well. The next day, when there was nice good light, it was like today, beautiful bright sunlight. And of course then, there's no problem with the ISO at all. I took a picture of a little egret, which Mark will put up. It only ISO 125, so that was no problem at all. But then I came to the other thing I don't like about the RX10.
Well, there's more.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a little grebe there, and it made a jump, and I tried to shoot it. And what I've got used to with the A1 and the A7R6 is waiting for the action, then hit the shutter, you've got it.
Yeah, pre-capture.
But of course I did that with this. All I got was a puddle in the water, splash in the water, because it had already gone before I got anything. Because the big problem otherwise for a wildlife photographer, there's no pre-capture. And although of course we used to always be shooting without pre-capture, when you mostly shoot with a camera with pre-capture, you get used to that and actually time your shooting to that.
You get spoiled, don't you?
You get used to it.
You get spoiled.
So I missed it.
Yeah.
So
I suppose they couldn't put everything on the camera, could they? I mean,
I don't know why they didn't put pre-capture, but it could be some technical reason. I don't know. You would have thought it would have improved their sales, but it seems like they sell very well anyway.
Yep.
The RX10s.
Yeah. So it's a very capable camera.
So it's a very capable camera, but I will say now, after me trying it, it's not for me. So this is not one that I'm going to be spending my money on.
God, that's a miracle, isn't it, Jonathan? Put it there, mate.
So there
Put
we
it
are.
Right.
So there, Jonathan has resisted and for at last.
Camera. So this one is actually being returned, and if you still want the original RX4 version, Castle cameras have got one, I noticed secondhand, for £1,600, far more than the original purchase price of the original RX10 4, I think.
There's one nice facility, because I did similarly try out the Mark IV. But the main reason I didn't like that one, they had blackouts in the viewfinder, which was really difficult to follow a bird.
Right.
But one nice facility it's got, which is not in the new one, is the old one. You could be recording video and take a still at the same time as you were taking video, which I always thought was a very nice feature, and I don't know why they don't include that in other cameras.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't have that facility.
Okay.
So that's one thing that's been taken out. And I think there is other things as well. I think it's 960 frames a second or something ridiculous for 1 second.
Yes.
Which this one doesn't do either.
No.
But
anyway, do buy it to return, because there's no guarantee that this model will feature more than the original price 8 years later after release. So make sure that if you do try one, get it on trial.
Well, I think they are very popular, but if you're and for a new wildlife photographer, it's probably a great camera. Or let's say you're a bird spotter.
Oh yeah.
You go out with your binoculars, but you want to take a record of the bird you saw, whatever. This is probably a great thing to have with you for that purpose.
Brilliant.
But for the keen wildlife photographer, it could leave things a bit lacking, because really we've been sport with such good gear.
Yep. There is a reason we carry around. Oh, what's that? About 4 kilos. Or no, 2 kilos.
3 kilos.
3
maybe.
kilos. Yeah,
3 kilos.
as opposed to
Just
1.
over 1.
Yeah. So also your alternative is 3 times the price. I'll mention that.
Yeah. So
We have an alternative.
I'll put this down.
Yeah. If make
that
sure
down with-
keep it mint. Don't scratch it.
So my alternative for use, but it won't provide all the alternative, is this, which is the A7R6 with the 70 to 350 APS-C lens,
Yeah.
which will actually provide higher resolution than the RX10. The reach is actually, it's actually 525mm equivalent reach in APS-C, so it's not quite so much, but you've got a 28 megapixel image to crop from instead of a 20 megapixel, so your actual number of pixels on the subject is actually more. So it's, for me, as a lightweight carry-about setup, this is probably better for me, although the problem is that it's not that much bigger. It's a bit bigger, but the big thing that it doesn't have, the RX10 does, you've lost that 24 to 70 range. So I'm not going to go out going around the town with the family sightseeing with this on, because I'd be asking them to stand the other end of the street all the time to take their picture.
Yes, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, good point.
So it doesn't really replace, but it is a small lightweight thing I can take on a business trip to take pictures of wildlife I might see on the way.
Yep, excellent.
So it's useful in that purpose. But you've got to remember, this is a lot more expensive bit of kit. The lens is not made expensive, but the A7R6 is.
Yeah, I've seen the lens second-hand for 600 from Castle Cameras.
Yeah. But of course, you've got all the facilities, everything's familiar here. You've got the pre-capture, everything on this. So,
yeah.
As for a keen, semi-professional wildlife photographer, probably this is the better one to have as a lightweight setup.
Definitely. Yep. Yeah. Yep.
So.
Excellent. Which you already had in your extensive range.
Which I already had because I got the A7R6 and I already had the 70 to 350 from the days I used to have an A6700.
There we are. Okay. Well,
so there we are.
That's brilliant.
So for once I'm not adding something to my equipment.
Saving his money.
Yeah.
Well done, John. Excellent. Anyway, thanks for watching this excellent review. I think of we have been suspecting this as much, and obviously the Stuart James video, very good, and we're going around with Stuart James, an avid supporter of the RX10 V, but it's nice now to have another review from a professional wildlife photographer who's actually used the camera for a brief period of time necessarily, but you're able to point out all the flaws and all the nuts and bolts in the actual lens. So yeah.
But for some people it may be perfect.
Perfectly fine.
And if you were like on the A6700, then it may be a good one to move to.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Cheers for now.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, a bit quick there. Blimey, my arm's going to sleep.